How do you avoid a nuclear verdict and save the life of your business? Drive trucking fleet dash cameras provide driver safety with computer vision and timely alerts your insurance carrier will love. Featuring Roberto Sicconi, Bren, Frank Sentner, and Maggie Stys, learn how Drive can improve your fleet performance while saving lives. So please say hello, make new friends, grow your network, and learn from the best on ATI Auto Business. What's up, ecosystem? Welcome back to ATI Auto Business, automotive ecosystem, where everyone learns more about the automotive industry. Let's get started with top industry news and headlines that include Jaguar's controversial rebranding, Carvana launches its fourth Megasite, and Hyundai Amazon retail delays until 2025. But that's okay. We are jumping into show 374 in a row on ATI, on the automotive ecosystem. Hello, YouTube. What's up, LinkedIn? Now, I'm not sure if the chat is working or not. There's nothing like updates in the software, so here's to the updates. That's all right. We'll just keep going. We're live. As I've learned more and more, live it's a special creature that, I don't know, I call it my domain. I never know exactly what's going to happen. I prep as much as I can and then hope for the best. A lot of folks don't want to go live, and great, let me know how I can help. It's called ATI, Auto Business, and we're going to talk tonight about this kind of stuff. Drowsy is deadly. I know it's no fun, and there's a lot of crazy, pretty amazing technology now. So that's what we're going to get into. Like, this is not a video game. This is technology at work. It's called Drive. And so, happy Thanksgiving, truckers. When you're on your tryptophan and you're feeling drowsy, Drive is here to help you, delivering a safety platform for drivers with computer vision, co-driver expertise. We're going to be talking about all that. Roberto Sicconi is the CTO at Drive. Yes, it looks like Dreyev. It's pronounced Drive. There's an I in Drive. Bren is a transportation insurance consultant. So is Frank Sentner. They are both here to talk about Drive technology. And then we're lucky, we have the CEO, Maggie, is here joining us. She's going to hop in at the end of the show. It's Drive on ATI. Know your ecosystem. New, used, OEM dealer, auction, logistics, remarketing, recon, compliance, and tech. We're the ecosystem's neutral zone. Yes, we can do this. It's ATI. Yeah, I like Tuesday nights. Last Tuesday night I was live at Used Car Week. I was in Scottsdale. And I just want to say, you know what? Thank you, Used Car Week friends. So many people. It was great to see so many people. I had so many great conversations and reconnecting and talking about content and trade shows and businesses. It was awesome. Really, really, I really appreciate it. I got a really warm welcome there, and it felt great. I needed that, so thank you so much. We also spoke last Tuesday, lenders moving repo cars. I moderated a panel, and we were connecting insurance and finance and repo and auctions and tech and talking about friction in the system. If you missed it, if you need to know more about it, we are here to help. Now, I'm checking the live chat. Oh, so cool. It's working. Yes. Because I got like a message that it wasn't going to work, and I don't know, the show must go on. That's why they said that. This is us on stage. I took this selfie right after we spoke, and such a great group. Renee, Brian, Vaughn, Dave, and Jordan. and it just was amazing. And so the automotive ecosystem, not only content with a purpose. Tuna with a heart. This is a shout out to the Auto Hall Exchange group in their booth. And with the Bye Bye Broker slogan there, that was pretty engaging stuff. And 2 weeks ago, we did Bye Bye Broker the show. Except there are questions. There were questions. Wait, are you guys a broker? No, we're not a broker. Well, you connect shippers and carriers. That's what a broker does. No, but we're not a broker. You're just not used to it, and we're here to educate, and that's why leveraging ATI to educate. Perfect example. Thank you so much, Auto Exchange. Industry Logistics is my Thursday show. Last week we had Dreyev. Dreyev was on the show, and I'm so happy to report already 2 video shorts of Dreyev out. We'll be talking more about video shorts tonight. Now let's do some ecosystem news. Here we go. Okay. This was big. Kind of shocking, I guess. Old Jaguar, new Jaguar. Is that the same Jaguar? I wouldn't have known. You could have fooled me. But Jaguar, in its brilliance, reveals a new colorful brand. Jaguar, the luxury car brand that just screams Nuevo Durandurano, announced its rebranding and wants to reflect the spirit of its founder, Sir William Lyons, which is really interesting too. Like, does he really like this? Jaguar copied nothing. So, let me see here. Hey, Roberto, yeah. Okay, all right, good. Everybody, yeah, just a note to panel. I'm doing the news, and then I'm bringing you guys in, and everybody's ready, and that's awesome. So stick around. Here comes more news. So this is Jaguar. Okay, for real. This is Jaguar. Yeah, no, Roberto, you have the right link. Hang tight, and then I'll let you into the room. Thank you for double checking. I really do appreciate it. So again, this is Jaguar. This is Jaguar. Yep. Yeah, you guys are good. This is Jaguar. What? Okay, this... Oh, yeah, this screams luxury brand. Yeah, no, I'm with that. 100%. Copy nothing. Yeah. No, when I think luxury car, this is exactly the demographic I'm thinking of. That buys and drives high-end luxury cars. For sure. That car. And this group. Absolutely identical. No-brainer. So what's going on? All right, change in average new car sales per dealership. So we're way in the red. All right, we need to do something drastic. How about a Hail Mary rebrand since we're struggling with reliability, supply, and pricing? So, stroke of genius or marketing suicide. Declining sales. Polarizing for sure. Provoking outrage. Okay, yeah. Yeah. Outrage sounds right. Go down as one of that sounds about right too. Yeah, maybe a marketing misstep. Yeah, see that's making sense. Right, the Teletubbies are driving the new Jaguar. So I know we can't talk about it because it doesn't seem like we talk about anything anymore. But here on ATI, we venture out. Jaguar's redesign was meant to position the automaker as an ultra-luxury brand, barreling into the future, but has been criticized as anti-DEI crusaders accused of going woke. So the Jaguar boss is slamming the vile hatred and intolerance. Disappointed. Well, so we're all very disappointed. I think we're all disappointed. Everybody is rather confused. Company faced a storm of online criticism, showing models in vibrant attire, no cars. I don't know if no cars was the problem. 120,000 comments. Elon said, "Do you sell cars?" Glover explained that Jaguar needs to stand out. If we play in the same way that everybody else does, we'll just get drowned out. But the choices were... He emphasized the need for Jaguar to differentiate. We're going to tune it up like an auto brand, get completely different. Glover also mentioned the importance of not abandoning their existing clientele, which, okay. We don't want to necessarily leave our customers behind, but we do need to attract a new consumer base. Man, this sounds a lot like, gosh, what was that marketing blunder? Oh, yes. It sounds just like that. Yeah. Yeah, I remember this. We're going to just be edgy, and we got to get people, and we're going to... oh, yes, that's right. We ended up with record lows. The brand slipped. And in an attempt to appeal to everyone, we ignored the strength of consumers' perception of the brand. Gosh, it sounds a lot like that. But good luck with that. Go ahead and let me know how that works out. In other news, Carvana launches a fourth auction recon Megasite, first on the East Coast. Kansas City, Houston, Vegas, and now Boston. Carvana announced last week that it's planning for an auction and reconditioning Megasite at its Odessa, Boston location, which will include Carvana's Inspection and Reconditioning Center IRC capabilities at the existing site, along with maintaining all digital and in-lane auction operations. Odessa, Boston will anchor the growth of Carvana's retail and wholesale ops in the area. The auction has been operating for decades, covers more than 100 acres, 13,000 parking spaces, creating 200 new jobs. They've already started hiring for the IRC associates. And to note, in Vegas, Kansas City, and Houston, Carvana's same-day delivery was added a month after the Megasite came to town. This could be big for Boston. Hyundai Amazon retail platform delayed till 2025. Last year, Amazon Hyundai unveiled a revolutionary partnership that will allow the automaker to sell its vehicles on the massive e-commerce platform. There were some delays from the CDK cyber attacks, but I guess nothing too significant. They did launch a pilot program in 2023 with 18 dealers. So you'd think they were ready to go, but it sounds like it's not till next year, maybe January. Dealers initially skeptical of the Hyundai platform, with Amazon concerned about the direct-to-consumer model, as we know from Scout Motors. Whoa. NADA said that the agreement between Hyundai and Amazon would be okay adhering to franchise laws, because, man, you do not want to go up against NADA. Man. The auto industry urges Trump to keep EV tax credit and emission standards, which is interesting. That surprised me. But there must be a lot at stake. The auto industry called on President-elect Trump to preserve the $7,500 EV tax credit. Which, I mean, is he going to read your letter? I don't know. In a letter sent November 2024, the Alliance for Automotive Innovation, representing OEMs, Ford, GM, Stellantis, urging Trump to maintain incentives for both EV buyers and manufacturers. Remember, Elon said delete it. So, I don't know, man. Elon or letter? Elon or letter? In addition, the alliance highlighted the importance of stability and predictability in automotive emission standards, suggesting Trump focuses on reasonable, achievable federal state regulations that align with current market realities. The letter also touched on regulation of autonomous vehicles, which, advocating for a federal framework to accelerate deployment, which Trump seems to be in favor of, and Elon is in favor of course, and that will help the steering wheel-free cybercabs coming out, I guess, in 2026. Trump says he'll impose 25% tariff on Canada and Mexico on day one, causing some concerns. In fact, this is, I guess, a graph of proposed percentage tariffs on Ford, averaging in the 25s and 30s, going as high as 47% coming out of Mexico and Canada. Ooh, man, GM's got some pretty high percentages there, too, in their tariffs. So, plus geopolitical tensions between China and Taiwan loom over the semiconductor supply chain. Trump has previously threatened to impose tariffs up to 200% on Chinese imports if China were to blockade Taiwan. And this could affect the semiconductor sourcing for chips Oh man, I thought we just got out of chip shortage. The industry is not well prepared to address any sudden disruption in chip supply from Taiwan. Even the planned semiconductor plants in the U.S. will take years to meet demand. As Trump prepares for a potential return to office, it's uncertain how his proposed tariff strategy and chip policies will develop. Other news, used cars. Average price of a used car is around 32 grand, down almost 5% year over year. That's great. Excellent drop for consumers who've been waiting to purchase a vehicle. Prices are still above pre-pandemic levels. Auto loan delinquency almost at 4%. Look at this. Record numbers in over a decade for auto loan delinquency rates. Not great. But see, look, see, you got that COVID pendulum swing. During COVID, it was amazing. Now, not amazing. Pendulum swings. How about rejection rates? Credit card rejections going up. Mortgage rejections going up. Auto rejections going up. Credit card limit increases. Uh-oh. Going up. Mortgage refinance going up. Somebody at Used Car Week said, yeah, wait till the recession hits. I thought, oh my God. We're not in it yet? NHTSA is going to study how drivers react to crash avoidance tech, so we're going to be talking more about that tonight probably. An insurance fraud attempt captured in broad daylight should be all the motivation you need to finally pick up a dash cam. All right, hang on, Roberto and friends. Give me a few more minutes. I want to do another What Are You Talking About? What are you talking about? All right. In this edition of What Are You Talking About, I am asking the question, what are you waiting for? Last week I was at Used Car Week. I talked to many people and companies about where they were or weren't on producing online video content. And most people are really still on the fence as far as making it a priority. I guess they don't think about it. Which is weird because when CEOs and VPs keep showing up on random podcasts, their PR department seems really into it. As we go, I want you to keep in mind, we have earned media and paid media. I say if you're going to go to trade shows, conferences, live events, and especially if you're investing in a booth, why wouldn't you see the benefit in creating online video content as a complement? Of words, you keep repeating to individuals one at a time. You've heard of shotgun marketing strategy, right? A lot of companies share images on LinkedIn about the trade shows they're going to. And I'm thinking, why just share an image of your headshot and not a short video of what you already do, the markets you serve, the value add you already have? Don't you know that I want to watch you talk about that rather than read it on a blog that I don't read? How do you not see the difference between how many videos you watch versus how many articles you actually read? I can't tell you how many times I talked last week about the thousands of impressions and hours of views my most recent Auto Hauler Exchange video short got on LinkedIn. Because when I did talk about those metrics, everyone I talked to was extremely interested. How many impressions? Thousands. How much watch time? Over 10 hours of a 60-second video. Do the math, that's a lot. So when you go to NADA and you see all the money spent on executives hosting live panels and booths with cameras and microphones and assistants running around, ask yourself, where is that video now? Can and does anybody watch it? How much money did they spend on that? And what fraction of that money does Jay charge his clients for video shorts that get thousands of impressions and hours of views? Okay, earned media versus paid media. See, big companies are really excited to get earned media because there's no invoice, so it must be free. And they shy away from paid media because all they can think about is the money they paid somebody else. But if the free earned media took away hours of company time and it got very few views outside the building, was it free? And what was earned? Now, if we compare the piles of cash that were left on the conference room floor in a booth that we'll just call in-house media against affordable online paid media that cost a fraction of that company doing it themselves in a booth designed for making sales, plus that paid media comes with an experienced content producer whose video shorts get thousands of impressions and hours of watch time, what again is the strategy? I ask again, What are you waiting for? That is the memo. Thank you so much for tuning in to ATI, where everyone learns more about how the automotive industry works. New, used, dealer auction, logistics, and more. It's ATI Auto Business. I do not ship cars. I move information. Leverage your business with ATI. Yeah, I also do podcasts, sure. Go to ATIAutobusiness.com. Let me know how I can help. Let's set up a Zoom call. Do me a favor, get ready. Right after this, we're going to be live with Roberto, Sicconi. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Transport Auto Quoter is by far the leading auto quoting software on the market, and the only auto quoter with a pro version that comes preset with accurate pricing for anywhere in the U.S. So you don't have to worry about it. The best part is that no change with your current software is needed. Just plug TAQ in and start booking jobs. Carriers can easily plug TAQ into their current websites and start making money right away. I bet you're wondering how we do this instantly and accurately 24/7. Well, constant analytics is the key. Our Price Watch team is constantly monitoring current market conditions, paying close attention to seasonal and quick-moving industry changes. At the end of the day, it takes a lot of time and data to maintain good pricing, time that most of us just don't have on a daily basis. So free yourself up. Using TAQ Pro is really a no-brainer. Save time and money, maximizing your leads and optimizing your online investments. You'll finally be able to sleep well at night knowing that TAQ is on the job selling for you 24/7. Never missing a potential job.
All right, we need to brainstorm for this commercial. How do we show our audience that we're the best auto transport platform in the industry?
Oh, we need to show them our dispatch manager. Optimizing routes has never been easier.
We should definitely show them our EDI management screen. Managing contracts is simple with ClearPath's EDI toolkit. Who doesn't want to work with the big manufacturers?
These are all great ideas, but we need to highlight what makes us special.
Sure, we can talk about all our awesome features, but the bottom line is we invest in every single one of our clients, giving them the power to scale up and increase their revenue.
That's perfect.
Auto Hauler Exchange has revolutionized the way vehicle haulers and vehicle shippers collaborate. The Exchange B2B marketplace connects vehicle haulers directly to shippers in a frictionless manner. The Exchange helps vehicle haulers maximize their capacity while eliminating empty miles. The Exchange is the first true B2B marketplace of its kind in the vehicle logistics industry. By connecting carriers and shippers directly, carriers can save time and choose which opportunities fit their needs each day. At the same time, shippers can rest assured that their vehicles are being moved by qualified, vetted carriers who fit their vetting program. The Auto Hauler Exchange has democratized the vehicle logistics industry by eliminating the middlemen and connecting shippers directly to available carriers.
Why does a broker take a percentage of every load you move when clearly you could be working directly with carriers? Go around the broker. Get faster car shipping. Visit AutoHaulerExchange.com. Links are in the live chat. All right, here we go. Please do help me wish a very warm welcome to Roberto Sicconi. Roberto, can you see me and hear me okay?
Yes, very good. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. I can see you. I can hear you. Please say hello and tell us a little bit more about you.
Okay. Hello, Jay. My name is Roberto Sicconi. I'm a CTO and the co-founder of Dreyev. My mission, or the company's mission, is to make a road safer and help us people stay safer when they drive. My background is in technology. I'm a big car aficionado. I'm a wannabe racer in the old days. I had to switch to safer driving over time. I got a family, so you move away from the initial instincts and then you start learning what safety really means. At IBM, I worked mostly on human-machine interfaces, and I'm intrigued by any piece of technology that allows the people help interact with computers more effectively. As a matter of fact, I think computers are now at the point where they're going to be with us and around us all the time. And there's many ways of making them be useful to you and make your life safer. That's exactly the angle we are taking with Drive. And we also leveraging the fact that most of us got familiar with the use of cell phones. So our solution, unlike most of the telematics and dashcam solutions that you might be familiar with, is based on a cell phone. We can also use dashcams when needed, but the core is really your phone and a connection with the dashboard, with the ability to give you feedback when you're doing a good job and you're doing a less than stellar job, and make sure that you're safe all the time.
One of the things that I noticed when we've only talked a couple times, and I realized, it's not like you work in sales and you're trying to catch up and sell something. This has been a passion of yours, am I right, since the 90s?
Correct. Yeah, as a matter of fact, back in '96, I was leading a group that worked on the first networked vehicle with the Delphi and GM. I was responsible for the speech recognition part of it. The idea was that sooner or later you would be able to talk to your car and have a car respond to you and give you information. That was back in '96.
Wow. What? 1996?
Yes.
You're working on networked vehicle.
Yeah.
What did it look like in '96?
Well, it was a GM Tahoe equipped with an IBM computer. I was responsible for the software development at the time, and the idea was to showcase how you would be able to interact with the dashboard of the infotainment system way before that became a reality. So it was a concept vehicle at the time. But a few years later, we started having the first installations in real cars with Honda and other car manufacturers. And then now you expect speech to be part of one of the ways to interact with your dashboard. But back then, it wasn't necessarily the case.
So, so I've got, one is I was thinking, I'm just going to say Knight Rider, Kit, the car.
Yeah.
That was in the 80s, right?
That's right. Yeah.
That's right. Okay. It's irrelevant, but okay. All right. So the thing is, when we talk to our cars, it seems like there's many different ways you can go with technology, and your focus is on safety.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes. Yeah. We we still are, I would say, helping legacy drivers who are in control of the car, and making sure that they don't oversee potential risks that they might be ahead. Most of us are doing a good job, but occasionally we slack off, or we get surprised. We are not paying attention to things. I think technology has come to a point where it can really help us stay attentive all the time. And whenever there's a potentially dangerous situation, we alert the driver so that the driver can react and prevent any crashes. Yes, here's an example of videos that are taken inside the vehicle, different users and different conditions, using different types of dash cams. We want to understand where you're looking at and whether you're looking at the right direction. There may be a pedestrian crossing the road before you. You may be distracted by something on your left, the pedestrian comes on the right. So we notice that there is a discrepancy between the direction of the attention and where the attention should be. And then we provide the audio feedback so that you know what's coming and what you need to do. If you are a professional driver, you work for a fleet manager. Of course, a fleet manager is very interested in making sure that you are driving safely. So there are scores we can extract out of your driving style that can turn into coaching, micro-coaching, off-trip lessons or coaching, especially for beginners. Experienced drivers usually don't need any coaching, but they might need some reminders of things that may be happening that they have not noticed. So it's really your guardian angel, if you want to call it that way, that stays with you and pays attention for you.
Yeah, I know. As I watch this, I think that a lot of experienced drivers are not really going to want to be involved in stuff like this. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, you got my attention. If this technology helps a driver avoid a very dangerous situation, then they will more likely, I suppose, want to participate. Is this camera facing as well as exterior facing? Talk more about
that's the
what
whole
we
point.
just saw.
No, that's the whole point. Imagine that you are waiting at a traffic light and you're waiting for your time to get into the flow. There's a lot of traffic and you're waiting for the spot to get in. In the meantime, a pedestrian may be crossing the road before you, and it may be coming from the other side, from the right side. You're looking at the left side. All of a sudden, you see a spot and you start moving and don't realize that in the meantime, the pedestrian is in front of you. So for those situations, we have the ability to intercept the risk and warn the driver, making sure that that doesn't happen. Generally speaking, our interface is quiet all the time. The other advantage that we have is that if you do indeed a good job, which most of the professional drivers do, you get also rated on how stellar a job you do. So it's about collecting credits for your good behavior and your ability to be safe all the time. That can be then used for promotions, for certificate of safety that you can collect for yourself, that help you grow your career inside the fleet and also get discounts with insurance.
We're going to bring in the insurance guys here in a minute. So Frank and Rich, you're up on deck. But that technology also, I mean, that's what the autonomous vehicle technology kind of looks like too, right?
I will say essentially the conceptual technology is similar. We have to understand what is on the road and where it's moving, it's where time to collision is below a certain level, etc. And whether you are paying attention in the right direction. So there's two parts to it. Autonomous vehicles don't have to watch the driver. They drive themselves. But the technology needed to understand what the risk is pretty much the same. Our solution is a lot more affordable than autonomous vehicles. And it's available today.
Well, okay, well, great. Because in the live chat, Daniel's saying, how much would this cost an OEM to implement? And so, rather than give specific pricing, because we don't know anything about his business, talk a little bit more about that, if you would.
Yeah, I would say that technology like ours is coming anyway to OEMs, whether it's our technology or somebody else's technology. What we do and we differentiate from is the fact that we enable legacy cars which do not have this technology embedded, no cameras installed, and no capability to understand, to evaluate what the cameras are doing. And we put it in your hands. It's a mobile app on your phone. You put the phone on the dashboard or on the windshield, and then that's all you need. So any older car can be used. It doesn't have to be the latest generation car. But going forward, yes, I see a market for advanced OEMs introducing this technology. Some of them already have some of it. For instance, Subaru and Honda, and there are various vehicles that have some driving monitoring capabilities. I think we go one step beyond because we want to understand the context. It's not only about whether the driver is looking ahead and the eyes are open. We want to understand whether the driver is looking in the right direction. So we understand where the risk is and make sure that the driver looks at that direction.
One of the things I just realized I'm thinking about truck drivers, but this goes in any vehicle?
This can go in any vehicle, yes. We are looking at the commercial space because the professional drivers on the road all the time, most of the day. Casual users like myself are maybe on the road for a half hour, an hour a day. So the advantage for them is a little more limited, and also the amount of the discount that you can get on your policy, insurance policy, is more modest on personal cars. There's a much bigger opportunity, I think, in commercial vehicles. But there's nothing that prevents the technology from being used on any vehicle. We even looked at the ability to use it on motorcycles, just to give you an idea.
Ooh, that's interesting. Well, since insurance rates seem like they're high, going up, or whatever they are, this is a good opportunity to keep that rate down. Not to mention, I mentioned nuclear verdict. You know, will this help avoid?
Absolutely. Nuclear verdicts are one of the main reasons why we are even doing this, especially in the states where litigation has reached absurd levels in some cases. The whole point is there's two aspects to nuclear verdict. So one is the tragedy of the crash that happened that is clearly motivates a lot of legal actions. But the other thing is that you can be tagged or blamed for nuclear verdict if you have a history of not paying attention to safety. So this nuclear verdicts usually happen to fleets who are not able to show that their drivers have been screened properly, trained properly, monitored properly, helped properly. So it's not a one-time thing. Yes, it's bad if you happen to kill somebody, but if you have a history of not paying attention, then this becomes a bigger punishment. And we want to make sure that you don't even get closer to that situation.
All right, there we go. I just hit the buttons. I'm adding Rich and Frank now. If you're just joining us, we are live with Dreyev. It's spelled D-R-E-Y-E-V, pronounced Drive, Fleet Dash Cameras. We're talking with the CTO, Roberto Sicconi, and we're now being joined by, here's Frank. Frank. Oh, and Rich is here too. Frank, kick us off. Frank, say hello. Tell us a little bit more about you.
Hello, Jay. Hello, everybody out there. Good to see you, Roberto, and hello, Rich. Yeah, I'm in the business a long time, as you can probably tell by looking at me. I've got almost 50 years working with insurance agents and brokers and the insurance industry in general. And I've been working with Roberto and Maggie on their implementation of Dreyev for the last 3 years. And, you know, it's a very exciting opportunity. I know insurance premiums are really high and drivers and fleets hate it. But the reality is the insurance industry is losing their shirts on commercial automobile. And it's essential that we figure out a way to focus on making drivers safer, giving them the tools that they need, and ensuring for your nuclear verdicts that you've got your own video when you show up in court. Actually, it's probably even more important for the folks who are filing the claim to know whether they were at fault and get it settled as quickly as possible before you get any lawyers involved. So, you know, I think this is a tremendous opportunity both for the drivers, professional drivers, and for the insurance industry. And I'm excited to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, Frank. Rich, how are you doing?
Pretty good there, J-Bone.
All right, great. Please say hello. Tell us a little bit more about you.
Well, I'm not quite caught up with Frank. I've only got 37 and a half years in truck insurance, but I'm still trying to learn the industry as best I can, but that's where I've been hanging out. It's helped me make a living. I enjoy watching the development of technology from when I came in, and it was kind of funny. I was looking at some videos of old semis, right? Bad technology that was implemented in the 60s and 70s, and just to see what we have now and all the devices that are available to help you operate your car more easily, right, and safer. And that's what intrigued me as I started working with the Dreyev team, is that, yeah, there is a lot of camera technology and there are a lot of analytics out there, but my time in watching fatigue and driver error, and just, again, with fatigue, the nodding off element to it. And the intriguing part that Roberto just talked about, you're paying attention, but are you paying attention to the right thing? And to now have an onboard coach that can start to help you realize, you know, we have a lot of tendencies, a lot of habits that we don't know that we're operating unsafely until that oh shoot moment happens, right? And that's a bad day. And that's what we hope to avoid.
It's a really good point. What you just said made me think about, we don't realize, we definitely don't see ourselves in what we do when we're driving.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not until other people are in the car that we realize, oh yeah, I just messed with the radio for 10 minutes.
Yeah, I had Dreyev installed in my car for a month. And after a couple of days, my wife said to me, you know, you drive differently with this thing in the car. And I'm like, no, I don't. but I did. She said, I prefer when Roberto's watching you.
Okay, wait, you just came up with a great idea. This is how you can get people to test it out. You come up with like some kind of drive challenge.
Yeah.
The drive challenge. Can you drive the same way with this thing on for 10 minutes?
Yeah.
And you have to have your spouse in the car to verify.
You need more than 10 minutes, but yeah, I mean, give it a try. It's really amazing. It's amazing what you learn about your driving when you get the reports, because that's a cool thing. The reports come in at the end of the day and in email, and anybody can read them, and it really puts the driver in control of understanding their process, how they're working. Are they cornering a little too hard? Are they following a little too close? What are the speed limit, events that they're having a challenge with? And, it's really fun to have something like this available to you to give you some insight that you don't have for yourself.
Rich, you are always sending me articles and snippets. For anyone that, I'll go to camera one. I've known Rich for years. And really, like when I think of insurance, I think of Rich. Rich, can you think of an example? And I'm putting you on the spot here, but is there an example or a news article where a technology like Drive either was used or could have been used to just financially change the outcome? Or, do we have any? Yeah.
Well, a case, I'll talk about a case, and it's not even on the road, but it's still heavy duty trucks. There was a technology being developed watching the eyes of the driver. And so it was like built into the cap, or you can build it into glasses, but they were watching for the eyes to begin to lock in place. So this is like a mining operation down in Chile, and these guys were falling asleep. And if you've ever been into a mine, oftentimes there's no guardrails, right? And so it could turn into a tragic event rather quickly. And so as they began to use this and realize that the drivers were nodding off, and they could alert them, when they finally got to a destination, they could pull them out. But once I saw that, then I started paying more attention to the other types of technology that exists. So having been in commercial trucking for a long time, I've seen a lot of horrific crashes, oftentimes occurring at the end of a week, because the driver did a reset over the weekend, and they got in that truck and they just drove and drove and drove. And by Thursday and Friday in Western Arizona, they're driving into the sunset, and it's a straight road. And all of a sudden they're out into the desert and they roll over. Well, that's still tragic. It's not going through the median in the oncoming traffic, but that potentially can happen too. So a lot of these events, when the Tracy Morgan case is a unfortunate example of a fatigued driver. And, had there been something watching that driver, possibly to alert them, right, and to intervene, or if the driver had been coached in advance that this was, or knew in advance, would the driver have taken the risk if they knew that there was going to be an onboard monitor? Because that driver had been in a car for many, many hours before they got in a heavy-duty commercial truck.
All right, fatigue. All right, so this one, I think I'm going to hang my hook on this one then. That if nothing else, because we've all experienced fatigue behind the wheel in one way or another. And here we go into the holiday weekend. Somebody's going to get fatigued behind the wheel. It's not somebody. How many hundreds of people are going to get fatigued behind the wheel trying to get to, right, or get back to work after the holidays, and then you add all the turkey, right, with the tryptophan.
And other impairments, Jay.
Right, exactly. So what if this system, maybe someone says, I don't want it on constantly, watching everything but what if it could recognize a fatigue? I'm sure, Roberto, it's capable of doing that.
Yeah, that's the whole point. And I would like to say that our system is quiet most of the time. You kind of forget about it until you need it.
Yeah.
That's really the point. So you don't want to have something that keeps nagging you all the time. No, if you're doing a good job, you're perfectly fine. If anything, you may get some chirpy sounds every time you get credited for excellent behavior. And then they accumulate, and then may be able to trade it for a special, I don't know, dinner for two from your fleet manager or an extra day of vacation. But the point is that when you need the help, you really need it. And we want to make sure that we have a very robust understanding when the risk is high, particularly when it comes to fatigue. Fatigue can happen at different people at different times. You may, a risk of falling asleep in an hour, 2 hours, or in 10 minutes, depending on how much sleep deprivation you're in, and what you ate, and whether you had coffee before it or not. So there's some adjustments or calibration that has to happen that looks at the progressive degradation of your ability to stay attentive. And we take care of it. And then whenever we see that you're starting to get close to a dangerous zone where you're fighting your body, we tell you. But before that, no, we're quiet. So the whole point is being conscious of the fact that the driver most of the time can handle everything by himself. But when it comes to a point where this becomes dangerous, then we speak up.
We've got a great comment in the live chat. Rod, thank you so much. Rod says drivers aren't comfortable with in-cab dash cam, mainly for privacy, since they sleep and change inside the sleeper cab. Recently, I think there was an article about something in a sleeper cab. Does this product only, is it used for in-cab, for the AI? Does the footage get stored? Can it be retrieved by the admin? Talk more about that if you
want. That's a very good point. First of all the video monitoring is done only when you're moving. When you're not driving, when you're sleeping or changing, of course, the cameras are turned off. When you're driving, all the processing is done in the vehicle, is done on the processing unit of your phone. And then we have the ability to extract information out of it only if you agree with it and only if necessary. So the processing is not, there's no human. Frank was joking, Roberto is seeing, I'm not seeing anything. The computer is seeing you and then makes a judgment call and saying, hey, Jay looks a little distracted, looking a little far to the left and close the eyes twice, a little more often than usual. That information is what we decide to use to whether we need to provide feedback to a driver or not. And then if you have events, you can decide and agree with the driver that the short video clips can be taken and used for coaching. Then they go to your fleet director safety. You can see it yourself and watch yourself. And we have seen cases of people say, I never fall asleep. And then they happen to see themselves and, oh my God, I had no idea. So it is useful also from a coaching perspective to let the driver see himself in those extreme conditions. But that has to be preventively authorized by the driver. Otherwise, we only process it in the vehicle and nobody gets to see anything.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Roberto, but the video, even though the camera's on, it's not saving any of the video unless there is an incident that the AI detects for which it would be required. And changing your clothes isn't an incident, right? So, and you're not even moving. So the videos, even though the cameras are running, they're not saving the video unless there's an event, unless you're following too closely, or you're cornering too hard, or you're braking hard, or God forbid you have an accident. So and as Roberto said, it's all stored on the local device, which you're in control of. So. I don't think privacy comes into it at all. The importance, Jay, of having two cameras is that the camera looking at the driver is detecting whether the driver is aware of the events that are being filmed outside. And so you don't get an alert for everything that happens outside that's a potential threat. You only get it if the driver isn't paying attention to that threat.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty interesting. What's going through my mind is that we're not used to technology thinking in terms of kind of like you just laid out, Frank. Well, we're used to like roll camera and cameras just rolling. That's what we're used to. And now we
this
got to
is
get used
AI.
to. Yeah. Right.
This is AI, man. That's how the video is being processed, and the understanding of the dual cameras. There's a threat outside, you're not paying attention, it knows to alert you. And if it's a significant threat, one that requires recording, and that can be set on the individual phone, it saves that video.
Jessica has an awesome philosophical question for us. What did you think was true that you found out after putting this into place was not true?
You mean?
I guess what did you learn that you didn't know? What if? Yeah.
Well, I think I'm a very safe driver. Okay, my wife would differ. Okay, but what I learned was that when I had this installed, I was much more mindful of, for instance, jackrabbit starts. Okay, I don't have to do that. And if you're sitting at a light, so I was definitely aware that I was starting more slowly, and I was also much more aware of my braking. Okay, so both of those things I paid attention to. Not so much on the speed thing. I got above the speed limit. I'm always above the speed limit. I got above the 10 miles an hour above the speed limit. That's really the threshold, more than I expected.
Well, if I may add something, this is a little more on the telematics side than the video. One thing I discovered is that when you have to slow down, you're better off by hitting the brakes harder at the beginning when you're higher speed, and then you progressively let go. And what the net result is, I have a very slow deceleration, which feels like a softer or smoother ride. If you wait for too long to brake, then you can brake, of course, and it becomes easier when the speed goes down, but you can have a harsher braking, which are usually tagged as harsh driving. And the only way to do it is to be a little more of a planner. You see a traffic light at the distance, you don't wait until you get close to slow down, you start slowing down early. And that makes the whole traffic flow much more smoothly. Now, professional drivers, experienced drivers that do it by nature, younger driver may be less used to it, but the tool can tell you, hey, you are braking a little too late. You can do it much earlier. It's like for a racer get the telematics information to tell him where he's wasting time in doing a turn. He could anticipate the move and then turn the corner at the right speed.
Okay, here's a question. Let's say I'm driving fine, but I, see another idiot. Right, I'm like idiot pointing at an idiot on the road. Can I say hit record, idiot?
Yes.
Yeah, I like.
You have that. There's two ways of doing it. One is by using a gesture. You can select which one. We use a V sign, for instance, to get recognized as, oh, please record this segment. Oh, that's by the way, it goes backwards also, because we record a few seconds before you signal the event and after. It may take you some time to understand this is an idiot. So you want to, when you realize that, yes, this is an idiot and you want to record it, we record the 6 seconds before that and 6 seconds after it, and then it gives you the whole motion to review.
Oh, that's smart. What can I do with this idiot recording? Post to Instagram.
You can post it to Instagram.
So if you hold 3 fingers and post to Instagram.
Right.
Well, right. You can have fun with your kids. There's multiple ways of doing it. But really, the point is, you want to have an easy way of keeping those recordings for yourself or to showcase to somebody else. So, the freedom manager to insurance, it can even be used for exoneration. If you have somebody who is doing stupid things in front of you, even if you're not hitting the brakes and nothing is considered an incident yet, this is a proof that this guy might lead you to a problem. And then if it happens, you have the recordings.
Frank just brought up a good point. It's coaching how you're driving, right? And so in the commercial space, there have been a lot of technology attempts, or they haven't really become apparent in the marketplace. Pedal Coach being one that I know Fleet was using, and it's showing them what Frank just said. It's showing them how hard they're leaving, right? How are they putting too much to the floor too fast, right? And so if you learn how to feather that, significant improvement on the fuel mileage.
Yep. Yep.
In
Sure.
the
There's
same
that.
thing,
Yeah.
people that drive electric vehicles realize that if you allow the vehicle to do the regenerative braking for you, you significantly
Uh-huh.
change brake pads less often
Hmm.
because
Right.
you
That's
you can let the vehicle brake itself significantly. And that type of technology also, applies to trucks, if they should happen to have Jake brakes and you can use them there and different ways downshifting in that. But this can be a tool for that. Everybody thinks the technology's only going to record the crash event, and those are critically important. Don't get me wrong, those are critically important.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
a tool that helps you coach, and this one's right in front of your face,
Hmm.
to be able to help you is significantly different than a lot of others because the very significant technology providers, here comes your telematics data, here comes your camera data, and it's just gushing in like a fire hose. And now the fleet manager is trying to figure out what to do with that. And
Yeah.
it is important to work through it, but can they work through it all? And do they really see what needs to be done? Whereas the tool is intelligently figuring that out for you on the fly.
Yeah,
think.
and
Oh,
what you
Frank.
mentioned, I'm sorry, Jay, what you
No, no,
mentioned,
please.
Rich, made me think of the opportunity for new drivers and training, and also for remediation for drivers who've had accidents. This is the kind of thing that you could have installed, or the fleet could use with both new drivers and with drivers who've had some accidents, so that they can guarantee that there is a safety check and people are, getting a clean bill of health so that they don't have to worry about this.
Before we bring Maggie in, I just wanted to go back to the Tracy Morgan example. Really good example, because many of us know who he is. A lot of us know about that case. It was a lot of money, a lot of headache, and yeah, if you can just prevent one of those a year, it's enormous. And having, I think you said like footage before trial or however you said that, yeah, even if just knowing exactly what happened can make the difference.
Well, and
Yeah.
the one thing here with Drive, because it's so mobile, the reference to using it on a motorcycle. I mean, just think about the applications where this can go. A lot of people don't think cars, pickup trucks, and that are unsafe. Well, yeah, they kill people just as deadly as a heavy duty commercial truck, right? And so there's a lot of people that think their Sprinter vans and that are safer. Well, they're more agile. That doesn't make them any safer, and I've seen horrible crashes there. The point that I see is un um, unmet by any other camera technology is the rental vehicle, the fleet that has rider trucks that switch out regularly in that.
Mhm.
You never get a camera installed in one of those. So any fleets that are on here saying, well, I already have technology from whatever carrier and I've got my telematics data and that, I don't disagree that you have that, but what do you do when you have a temporary rental? And all of a sudden you've got a truck that you're using for maybe it's just a day or a week or whatever. This is one that's easily, put it in a saddle and now you have something going with this driver. And the same thing, a lot of these people use independent contractors. And so that's a
Yeah.
challenge trying to get a truck of an independent contractor to get that thing installed. Well, right now today, this can be utilized for that gig driver, that DoorDash,
Yep.
Uber, whoever it is. So, this is much more able to be implemented quickly and in any application. And I did some courier messenger type work, insurance work at one point in time. And, bicyclists hitting people on the streets in New York, led to general liability claims. They aren't auto claims, they're general liability claims, but, they're hurting people. And the same kind of a thing was people started to wear GoPros back then to prove that they were or were not, right? That's how they were trying to prove their innocence.
Sure.
Now, this has a different application, much more features than just a standard GoPro. But if you start thinking about it, if you really want to make a difference, protect the driver or the driver become better, more professional, more competent, this is definitely a solution to consider.
All right, here we go. We're going to bring in Maggie. Ready? Maggie, you ready? Okay, I just hit the button. She's going to join us for the final segment here. And as we move into, we're going to get Maggie's introduction here. I didn't give you much heads up, Maggie. And thanks for jumping in the live chat, asking questions, sharing your thoughts. Jessica Zorn's a big fan of Rich, so shout out Rich from Jessica Zorn. Maggie, can you see me and hear me okay?
I can. Hello, Jay. How are you?
What's going on, Maggie? Please say hello and tell us, who are you?
Hello, I'm Maggie Stys, and I would like to greet everybody from beautiful Westchester County, up north from New York City. I am so grateful to be working in such distinguished company of fellows here that you've heard a lot about what we do already. My background is really in technology. I have an IBM background. Like Roberto, that's where we actually met. And a lot of my work early on was around human-centric computing before it became AI, before it became hip and everybody, including insurance, started using it. So my big passion and actually word of gratitude here is that, we got a chance to help people on the road use technology in a way that is hopefully is being treated as a trusted guardian angel or that trusted driver companion. That's where we're going with this. Roberto described the technology already, so I just wanted to say that this is our mission. It's also my personal mission. I did fall asleep behind the wheel on a couple of occasions, and it was not happy. A very happy situation. So we're here to prevent accidents, right? I think preventive measures is our focus. We're very happy to also provide exoneration evidence, but we hope it never comes to that. And the technology is very light. It's phone-based, so it's is going with the spirit of times here, especially with the growing gig economy. I think it would become very useful and very flexible piece of AI gizmo.
Well, nobody knows the purpose of something like those who've been within a situation where something is a solution. I think that's fantastic. I mean, and I mean, that is fatigue kind of that top tier solution. I mean, what if someone said, what are the 5 reasons to have this technology? 3 reasons, yeah.
Well, risk prevention in general, right? I mean, crash prevention, risk prevention, including things like distracted driving, which unfortunately we see more and more of. Drivers are becoming more and more complacent. They think they're 1 foot inside of a self-driving vehicle, and we're not there yet. And then drowsiness, I would say, is a pretty differentiated feature, especially for long-haul truckers. That would be very useful. We like to refer to ourselves, the Drive technology, as the Tesla of driver guidance. So aside from risk prevention, we would like to guide you. Only, we're going to be quiet. We'll shut up most of the time. But when you need us, like you need that guardian angel before something really bad happens, we want to be there. and we want to assist you.
Gotcha. Guardian angel.
There you go.
Anybody who wants to add something? We'll wrap here in a few minutes. I guess we'll go to final thoughts. Here we go. Camera one. Final thoughts. All right, go ahead.
I think it's time to promote or switch from technology used to criticize you to technology used to award you. And there's plenty of excellent drivers who do a fabulous job, and there's nobody around to see how fabulous a job they did. I think this is one way of demonstrating to yourself, to your employer, to your insurance, how good a driver you are, so that you deserve the best insurance premium, best treatment, the best awards. That's the best way to really demonstrate that you are an excellent driver. You should be ahead of others. You should be preferred. If you work with a carrier, you are the best contractor they can pick. I mean, this is definitely an unserved market, and we like to have a lightweight solution you can adopt that allows you to demonstrate how good a driver you are and then take advantage of it.
I like the idea of rewards, whether it's sounds or, like an animal gets a couple nuts or, whatever. I mean, really, to be rewarded for good driving, I love that idea. It's great. Okay. Who wants to follow that?
Like, again, I'll just go back to we don't know. We're not watching ourselves. And Frank's point's very well taken. I wonder how I ever get anywhere safely all by myself, because when someone's with me, they tell me how bad I drive. So, there are drivers that are in extremely dangerous environments and may not recognize it because it's very, very busy around them, or it's 3:30 in the morning or 4 a.m., right? And they have to be on drive going at that point in time. A friend of mine he drives a tractor trailer. He got hit the other day. He had just started his shift. It's just like approaching 5 a.m. And a woman just comes left to center right into the fuel tank next to the driver's side of the truck. Why? What was she doing, right? She was either distracted or she fell asleep, and so he was in his lane, and it was just like she came out of nowhere and got him. So the point is, are you utilizing technology that can help you? What kind of warning devices, their safety equipment? This is about that guardian, as Maggie talked about. This is your guardian to help you. And so I've seen a lot of these garbage truck guys, it's the early morning people, they're brand new getting into the truck and they're not awake yet. And you don't know why that is. I've got sleep apnea. I know that if I don't wear my mask, that oxygen deprivation is not allowing your brain to function well. And a lot of truck drivers are untreated, undiagnosed for their sleep disorders. So that's them, but also every other fool out on the road with them. That's what I'm talking about. All the other fools around them, in the use of narcotics and other hallucinogens that screw people up. I mean, it's a dangerous. Their workplace is dangerous. I respect the heck out of drivers, related to many of them, and yet we're here to talk about a tool that can help you, right? Be safe for yourself and learn ways to become more defensive.
Yeah, the road is a dangerous place. How about nighttime? Can this be the security guard at night as well?
Yes, the technology works day and night. The limitation is how much can the camera on your phone see you at night. And like most of the phones, they do a passable job, but the quality is not as good as during the day. If you want to improve that, we have an option of using a separate camera that connects with the phone. It gets installed on the windshield, like dash cams. And then that becomes the extra pair of eyes that are specialized for nighttime vision.
But I will mention that dash cam is under the control of the AI on the phone. So once again, it's only saving the recordings where there's an incident that the AI has evaluated as requiring that recording. And along the lines of the recording, we cannot avoid cameras. Cameras are everywhere. And believe me, they're coming to every street light and every stoplight and every, overpass on every highway everywhere. It's about time drivers, professional drivers in particular, had their own copy of a video that proves what they did, as opposed to being at the mercy of discoverable video from, a bad angle, on a department store, at a corner. So I really think it's extremely important that drivers take control of their destiny and have a tool like Drive that gives them the proof of what their driving situation actually was.
Frank brings up a good point. That is a critical thing that adjusters oftentimes need to be beat into their heads when an event happens. If you know that you're in the right, if you believe your contribution was very little to none, I'm asking them all the time, have you pulled every camera, as Frank just said, have you found every camera that was on that roadway that you can get that data? I know of a lady I worked with that there was a horrific pedestrian accident, and I presented to her that it's been seen that some of the door cam videos on a street can pick up vehicles. And I said, if you analyze that, you can know the speed in which that vehicle was traveling. It was predicted that this vehicle was in a residential area going at an excessive amount of speed. And so that would be a benefit to the claimant, right? To be able to show that this person. So that's all I'm trying to say again here is this technology can help sometimes in breaking the code on proving that other party's contribution was very significant.
And to the point that somebody asked for price earlier, one of the biggest advantages of this solution is it runs on your phone. You already have a phone, you're already using it for navigation and other purposes. Why not install another app? And then all you pay is for the service. But there is no hardware installation. It's very easy to use, very friendly. And it can be resident on your phone together with other applications that you need. So it's really the most, I would say, non-intrusive way of bringing in help without changing your lifestyle.
Right, because you just, not just the footage, but there's data, right?
Yeah.
Do you have speeds and all that stuff? Wow.
Yeah. Not only that, we know the post speed. You can select your own warnings on speed, and that may change depending on the state. May change depending on what your fleet owner requires. May depend on how much margin you want to keep. You get warned before you even get there, so you don't get discovered to be exceeding the speed. And the speed may change frequently, and you may not even see the sign. So it reminds you, hey, by the way, now the speed went to 55 to 35. And okay, you get a grace period to adjust, and that is fine. If you keep going at high speed, then you get warned that you're doing it, and it's up to you to decide whether to change or not. So it's a very, very powerful way of reminding you of constraints that you have to live with, and make sure that you do the best. We can also take advantage of the knowledge of street limits. For instance, through the digital map, we know if there's a narrowing of the road or there's a bridge that's too low, and that may be incompatible with your vehicle, so we warn you ahead of time. If you're going there. If there are weight limits, if the weather is bad, we can adjust the margins based on that. So if you know that we are getting to slippery conditions, and we know already that this is a well-known street that is prone to people sliding, we can warn you ahead of time. And it's a number of nice precautions that come handy, especially if you are new to the area and you don't know, oh, there's a very dangerous intersection, and I should be aware of it.
Now that's interesting, yeah, because you don't have to rely on reading a sign. This thing is thinking, just like I've had what Google Maps has said, there's a speed trap ahead.
Yep.
And I'm like, wow, thanks. That's awesome.
Kick it down.
bet.
Right?
Yeah. Really appreciate that.
Hurry up and get through it, buddy.
Yeah, exactly. So that is, I mean, the applications here, this is pretty amazing. And then if you think of, you've got 1,000 trucks on the road. Think of all the little things throughout each day of all those trucks.
Yeah,
Wow.
the point Roberto just brought up, I mean, the coaching pieces, the warning pieces, a lot of accidents are simply because you're new. You were not aware of the environment. Frank brings up a good point, right? Is the bridge too low? Do I realize this curve is as tight as it is? And a lot of people are just not prepared. And you see that with a commercial vehicle and conditions, definitely. There's a lot of people that don't know how to drive on wet or black ice or any kind of snow. They've never experienced it. Unfortunately, that's true with a lot of truck drivers that, are they're always in a new environment and they aren't ready for it.
That's such a good point, Rich, that you've brought up. As a matter of fact, I wanted to leave everyone with this thought of collaborative driving. So what humans are very good at, computers aren't, or AI isn't. What AI is very good at is predicting stuff, knowing everything about an unknown area, right? I mean, they have all these knowledge bases that they can check against and do it in real time. So it's really like buying yourself an extra, ability to stay awake 24/7. No human can do that. So collaborative driving is about putting together the best qualities of a human, but in collaboration with best qualities of AI. We don't want to just launch AI and say, okay, AI, take over. Drive as you wish, right? But we would like to make sure that there is this balance that's struck between driver and AI. And then, that leads to prevention, hopefully, and then driver-friendly applications, right? Driver-friendly application, I think, is also key. And we went through a lot of thought, many years of research. It's actually not a trivial thing to do, to have a fully collaborative solution out there that would leave the driver happy, leave them safe, in this, the hands of a guardian angel, so to speak, since we use that metaphor. And I think that could be very powerful. I also wanted to take this opportunity to wish everybody a wonderful, safe driving, safe and great Thanksgiving.
Guardian angel. I love it. That is the last word. Roberto, Maggie, Frank, Rich, thank you so much for taking this time as we go into the holiday. I also hope you all have a great Thanksgiving, and thank you so much for your time again tonight. Share this info.
Thank you, Jay.
Thank you. Thanks, Jay.
Thanks very much. All right, I will end the meeting now, and that's a cut. Okay. All right. Awesome. Oh, it came out great. I think Maggie or Rich, or I can't remember. Might have been Rich. It was a couple months ago. Said, hey, got this great idea, technology. You should really meet Maggie and Roberto. And we had a meeting, and we added Frank and came up with tonight's show. And that's how easy it's done. Is that we met a couple months ago, then we had like a prep meeting, got some assets together, and here it is, the show, live, for Thanksgiving. Perfect timing, too, with all that tryptophan. I want to thank Superflow Systems, Auto Hauler Exchange, ClearPath TMS, Murphy Auto Transport Services. Thank you all so much for jumping into the live chat. Love that. Seeing great views on LinkedIn. Wow. And that's awesome. This is a big deal, and I know that there are a lot of folks that work in fleet, whether as a driver, as a manager, a supervisor, tech, owner, insurance, and in telematics, or in law enforcement, or it's a lot of folks that are really interested in fleet management. So if you want to learn more about Dreyev, Dreyev technology, I put some links in the live chat. You can also go to Dreyev.com and learn more about Dreyev. Thank you all so much for joining me here tonight. I hope you have a very happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy your Thursday and your extended weekend. Here comes the car hauler. There's no show on Thursday because it's Thanksgiving, but we'll be back next Tuesday night with another amazing show. So please do join us for episode 375 in a row on a Tuesday night on ATL Auto Business. Thank you and good night.